One Lent, I was praying with my kids before they went to bed, and they were each telling me what they were going to fast from for Lent that year. And one of my boys said he was going to give up video games for Lent, and I said, wow, you know, that's really cool. If you could do that, I will buy you a brand new video game for Easter. And then my next guy said, I'm going to give up chocolate. And I said, I will buy you a giant chocolate bunny or something, you know, if you could pull it off. And then last, my son Toby, I said, what are you going to give up? And he said, crackers. And I was like, if you can do that, I was like, I will buy you a giant box of crackers on Easter morning. And then he started crying right before we were leaving. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, I hate crackers. You know, and I think sometimes that's how all of us are with fasting. You know, we don't like it. We try and fast from something weird that won't hurt that much, but we'll get by. It'll still count, you know, as being a good Catholic. And I think the main reasons why is we just don't understand why do we fast. And so I want to propose that there's two reasons mainly why we fast. The first is that we would have detachment from the world, that there'd be a separation from our flesh. You know, the Catholic Church says there's three enemies that we face, our flesh, the devil, and the world. And in fasting, we find separation from that. We pull away where no longer are we slaves to our own bodies. In fact, we make our body our slave. You know, we have some mastery, and for so many of us, self-control is a huge issue. And this practice of self-control, this practice of temperance, is a beautiful thing that actually gives a lot of peace to deny ourselves from something that we want. The second thing is that in suffering, we grow closer to Jesus. You know, I've heard it said that there's no way to grow closer to Christ than to suffer with him. Now, Christ suffers with us in the cross, in his passion. He takes on our suffering, but we can join our suffering together with him, and that's voluntary or involuntary. Maybe we're sick. Well, we can voluntarily give that suffering to Jesus and ask him to pull us closer to him in that. I think oftentimes we're willing to suffer for things that we find valuable. Take exercise as an example. You know, exercise is not really that fun. You know, it hurts. You know, there's a lot of times it's exhausting. You're sore the next day. You don't feel like doing it, but we do it anyway. And the reason we do it is because we want the results of that health in our body. It's no different when it comes to our souls, when it comes to our hearts, our minds. You know, fasting does that. It creates a healthy heart. It creates a healthy soul where, yes, we're willingly disciplining ourselves. But the end result is that there's a greater intimacy with God. So many of us get so excited about Easter. You know, we love the resurrection. We embrace that. But so often we push the cross away because it's not fun. I want to challenge you today to embrace the cross, knowing that in our suffering, there's a great potential to grow closer to Jesus.